What's going on, guys? Dave here, back with another video. Today, what if what if I just filmed every single video like this? Honestly, at this point, any video of mine that's like not just me talking is different in some capacity. You know what I mean? So like, you just got all this space over here. If you guys couldn't tell, I've been going through it lately. so, um, So I appreciate the support that I've been getting. The channel has been slowly but steadily growing, and that really honestly means a lot to me. So I just want to thank you guys for that. And yeah, today we're just going to be doing part 2 of my little series on my favorite character from every anime. I thought it was fun, and I thought I would just keep doing it, even though nobody asked for it. I asked myself to do it, and that's what we're doing. So, last episode we went over Naruto, we went over My Hero, we went over Yu Yu, we went over Dragon Ball, and we went over Haiku. And so, if you're interested in hearing, if you're for whatever reason interested in hearing of my favorite character from either one of those anime, that's going to be in the last video. I plan to put all these in a playlist, so you can just sit back, relax, hear me ramble about nothing. I've heard that rambling is good for sleep. If you have trouble sleeping like I do, listen to me talk about random garbage and then fall right asleep. It'll be easy. It'll be great. What am I doing? All right, so um, so let's start with a few anime. I have a feeling this is gonna turn into the main character episode, because the few anime that I picked out for today's episode are all my favorite characters, are all the main characters. I know that's kind of basic, but they just kind of happen to be my favorite out of the series. So, for example, One Piece, which we've got over here. Yeah, One Piece up there. My favorite character from One Piece is Luffy. And it may be basic, but Luffy is a great character. I think he's funny. I think he's energetic. The Gum Gum power is probably one of the most slept on power sets in all of anime. It's honestly so useful in every capacity. The guy's borderline indestructible. He can stretch really far, which adds combat prowess, but also adds a lot of mobility. If you guys played that World Seeker game, it wasn't that good, but you could use the Gum Gum powers to like swing around and like climb stuff, and that's like really useful. It reminded me a lot of Spider-Man in that capacity, and Luffy has used that a lot in the anime. So I just think like his power set, like, as kids, my buddies and I would always be like, oh, what power do you want? It's like, oh, I want to be able to go Super Saiyan, Kamehameha, whatever. It's like, yeah, but like I kind of want the Gum Gum power, like that. It's so useful in pretty much every capacity. So I kind of like Luffy more for his power than for his actual character, but his actual character is very good. Like I said, he's funny. He's driven. He cares a lot about his friends. I care a lot about my friends, so I can relate to a character that cares a lot about their friends. Um, so that's very nice. That's very sweet. What else about him? I don't really know if there's anything specific other than he's just a cool guy, and he seems like somebody that you would kind of want to hang out with. Maybe not, because he also kind of stirs up some trouble sometimes, but he sticks up for people, especially in the beginning with but pretty much with that like first town that they're in, where he meets the kid with the pink hair. I forget his name, but he basically just decides to save that town because he's like, wait, this is kind of weird. All these Marine guys are just like telling people what to do. That's not right. We shouldn't let that happen. Um, and he just decides to say, you know what? Let's screw that. Let's fix it. So yeah, my favorite One Piece character is Monkey D. Luffy. I think he's cool. I like him a lot. There's a lot of good characters in One Piece, though, so you really can't go wrong with a favorite character there. Next, let's hop over to Jujutsu Kaisen. I think if you guys saw my JJK review, you would probably kind of surmise that Itadori is my favorite character. I won't get too into it, one, because I kind of would really love for you guys to check out that review. It's 3 parts. I took a lot of notes. I worked very hard on it. Even though it may not look like it, I did. So, shameless plug, but also I don't want to reiterate the point and belabor the point, which is something super weird. It's like, wait, Dave loves talking about nothing for 20 minutes at a time. Yeah, but I'm going to try to not do that, because I know, it helps me as somebody with OCD explain himself and everything, but it also makes for a boring video, I feel. So, in short, I like Itadori. Again, he's another guy that cares about his friends. I like that. I respect that a lot. I respect somebody that cares about the people around them, that cares enough about his homies to, like, we're gonna ride together. We're gonna, you're my homie, and that's what that is. That's that. He's somebody that can make friends with pretty much anybody. Um, and he cares. He cares about people, and he cares about doing the right thing, regardless of if he knows that person, regardless of what that's going to do to him. Like, if he's going to put himself in a situation that most people might not put themselves in, but because it's Itadori, he's like, yeah, let's roll, let's do it. I'll go to this prison and I'll save this guy, even though I don't know him. I don't know if he's alive. And also, there's a giant demon eye floating, or a demon womb. It's the cursed womb arc floating in the sky. But I'm still going to go save this dude because that's the person I am. So, I won't get too into it. I talk a lot more about Itadori in the Jujutsu Kaisen review. That's also on the channel. So if you're interested in hearing about him more specifically and about the show as a whole and my thoughts on it, feel free to check that out. Next, let's talk about an anime that I think is extremely, extremely slept on, and it keeps with our theme of just bigging up the main character of every show, and that's Toriko. And my favorite character from Toriko is Toriko. Again, he's a guy that cares about people. I think that's the theme of this video. There's 2 themes: main characters and people that care about people. He's somebody that cares. He takes Komatsu under his wing. He recognizes Komatsu's talents and recognizes Komatsu not only as a person, but as a chef and as a friend and as a partner. And he takes him under his wing and says, "Hey, do you want to go see the world? Do you want to go explore with me?" And he's driven. He knows what he wants out of life. He wants to create his menu, and nothing's gonna stop him. And I appreciate that. I appreciate a man who knows what he wants out of life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, I appreciate somebody who enjoys life, and Lord knows I'm trying to get there myself. And Toriko's a guy that you can look at and be like, man, this guy really just enjoys being alive. He enjoys the thrill. He enjoys the world, and I gotta respect that, man, because that's something. At the end of the day, that's what we're all trying to do: is enjoy life and enjoy being here. So, um, so yeah, I respect him a lot for that, and also his powers are super cool. I mean, how every power is kind of related to a utensil in some way, or some form of cooking, is really cool, because again, it's an anime that revolves around a lot around food. I mentioned it, I think, in either the manga video or the anime video, or both. That if I had to pitch Toriko to somebody, it's like basically Monster Hunter, and like, I forget what I even said. It was like Monster Hunter with like a dash of Dragon Ball and One Piece, and then put that together. So if that sounds appealing, please check out Toriko. It's super underrated, super slept on. I don't hear enough people talk about it. It got dubbed 50 episodes. I watch dub. I know I'm a loser. But again, I always say it. If I'm going to read, I'll just read the manga, right? I don't watch TV to read. I watch TV to watch TV. So if you watch dub, it's 50 episodes, and then they stop doing it. Sub, I'm pretty sure it's everything, or the manga is what I've been picking up with. So, again, Toriko, great, super underrated. Love Toriko, the character, as well. What was next? What did I want to talk about next? All right, let's break our theme of main character, but still talk about somebody who cares about the people around them, and that is Urza Scarlett from Fairy Tail. Fairy Tail, my favorite Fairy Tail character is Urza Scarlett. Fairy Tail gets a lot of hate. I know. There's a lot of fan service. There's a lot of quirky, like, oh, like super crazy stuff. Like, it's not crazy, but like, there's a lot of fan service. There's a lot of like, oh my god, I'm in the shower. Get out of here, pervert. Like, and you gotta, I mean, that's just kind of how it be sometimes. You gotta watch it and just be like, okay, are we doing this? We're really doing this again? All right, okay. I'll fast forward. I'll fast forward through this part. And yeah, it gets a lot of hate for like the power of friendship saving the day. But at the end of the day, sometimes you need that anime. Fairy Tail is a good comfort anime where you can just turn your brain off. You don't really need to care about anything. You don't need to care about anyone except Urza, and we'll get to that in a second, and just enjoy it for what it is. And what it is just a simple comfort anime. And Urza, I think, highlights or is one of the highlights of that show because in a show that has kind of one note characters, she's somebody with a lot of depth. She's somebody with a very interesting and kind of dark past that came into her own not only as a person, as a woman, but also as a partner to her team, to her friends, because she's somebody that in the past may not have gotten along well with people or may not have trusted people, but she learns to trust Gray and Natsu and Lucy and Happy and all the Fairy Tail Guild members because she knows that she knows that she's gotten to a point to open up to where she can rely on them, and they can definitely rely on her because she's awesome and she cares about people, she cares about her friends, again, common theme. And she's somebody that will not let or will do her best to not let anything bad happen to the people that she cares about. And again, I respect that a lot. And I respect the growth. I respect the arc that her character takes. And again, if her powers are really cool, the fact that she can essentially change her whole skill set with the change of her armor, I think is really kind of cool and unique. I'm trying to think of what I would compare it to. And the first thing that randomly pops in my head is like Ben 10. I don't know why, but the fact that you have a core center character, but then with the change of their armor, or in the case of Ben 10, the change of his alien thing with the watch or whatever. I never watched Ben 10, but like he could change into different people, and that would vastly change his powers and his moveset. And I think a kind of similar thing can be said about Urza. And I find that very interesting. I find her powers very cool and unique. What number are we on? I haven't been keeping track. I'm just kind of talking, kind of shooting from the hip here. We went over One Piece. We went over Toriko. We went over Fairy, Fairy Tail. Was there one more? I don't know. I might have miscounted. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm trying to refresh my memory on what else. We went over Jujutsu Kaisen as well. So I knew it. I knew there was one more. Okay. So the fifth and final one for today. Jumping back on the basic train, let's just talk about Saitama from One Punch Man. I talked a little bit about him in my top 5 overrated anime characters video on how he would wipe the floor with Goku. If you need more clarification, watch that video. But as a character, Saitama is very funny. I think he's well written, and I think the simplicity of how he's written in a weird way makes him much more well written, if that makes sense. I'll try to explain. I think the fact that he's so one note, because a lot of these characters can be one note. I think pretty much everybody on this list is pretty one note besides Urza. But the fact that Saitama's one note, I think, really heightens his character because that heightens the humor of the show. That heightens just how you like. Let me explain. Let me try to organize my thoughts here. Saitama's overwhelming strength and overwhelming power, I feel like hits harder when he doesn't care. The fact that he just doesn't care, I think makes it more funny, but also makes you respect him more as a combatant and as somebody who is really that powerful. If he was just breaking down buildings and being like, oh yeah, dude, I'm so strong, come get it, like I'm the best, I'm so this, I'm so that, I do 100 million sit-ups a day, like whatever, no heat in the winter, no AC in the summer, I'm the best. Like you'd be like, yeah, that guy's kind of tough, but like, whatever, we've seen it before. But the fact that he's just like, I don't care, yeah, whatever. The fact that he stares down, deathly villains and is just like, so are we done? What are we doing? Like, I think that heightens him as a character, and that makes it, again, not only funny, that's the juxtaposition of this extremely terrifying beast and somebody who just couldn't give two ships. I'm such a dork, dude. I'm trying not to cuss. We've been over this. Just let me figure out how to talk without cussing. It's fine. We'll work through it. But the juxtaposition is very interesting, and it heightens him as a character. Again, his moveset and the fact that he has none. Everybody's got. They had that gag in the show where everybody's got, oh, this is my super awesome mega death ray, or this is my typhoon flosion attack. And Saitama's just like, the consecutive normal punches, many of them. Yep, that's my power. Like, that's funny. And again, it's just clever writing. It's a clever way. He's definitely a character that kind of turns a lot of anime on its head, because you constantly have these characters, some of them, most of them I discussed in this video, that are very like, yeah, let's do it, let's go on an adventure, let's beat the bad guy and save the world. And Saitama's just like, man, I'm just here to pay my rent. Like, and that's very relatable, but then juxtaposed to the fact that he is also essentially a demigod is very funny, and it makes for a very funny show, and it makes for a very funny character. I feel like Saitama is a character that you can't, at least with my novice reviewing experience, you can't really talk about him as a character without talking about the world around him, because I feel like the world around him and how he interacts with the world around him kind of shows a lot of him as a character, if that makes any sense. Like, you could talk about, like I said, Urza Scarlett and her past, or you could talk about how Toriko feels about his friends, or how Itadori feels about his friends. But Saitama couldn't care less. So you got to talk about everyone else around him and how they react to him, and that, kind of explains who Saitama is. So yeah, I hope I explained it well enough. But if you guys have seen One Punch Man, you guys are aware of Saitama. So yeah, that's it for this episode. There were 5 more. One Punch Man, Toriko, One Piece, JJK, and of course Fairy Tail. If you guys have any more, or want to hear me talk about any more of these characters, like I said, I mentioned other videos where I talked about them or things related to them. Those are all on the channel. I'm thinking about increasing this playlist to cover manga as well, or maybe doing a completely separate playlist for manga characters. Again, if there's anything that you guys want me to talk about more, feel free to leave it in the comments. If there's anything that you guys want to add to the video, feel free to leave it in the comments. I love getting comments. It really brightens my day. So I would love to hear from you guys. If don't feel pressured to comment at all. I don't want anyone to feel like, oh, well, he keeps asking me to comment, so I guess I have to. No, of course not. But I would love to hear from you guys. This is a safe space. I want this to be a safe place to be like, hey, my favorite anime character is blah, blah, blah. Unless you say Hisoka, then it's not safe. But really, well, there are a few other anime characters that probably wouldn't fly. But if you comment like a good character, even if you said Kirito, like Kirito from SAO. I hate SAO. I think Kirito's not a good character. But if that's your favorite, that's who am I to judge, right? I'll roll with it. I'll say, okay, cool. Tell me more about that. And then, we can talk as friends and have cool discussions. So I appreciate you watching. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'd love to say that every video isn't like this, but so far every video is like this, all right? But I'm working on some stuff. I'm still doing gaming. I'm still trying my hand at different things, trying to figure out what works for me and what you guys like to see. So I appreciate the support I have been getting. It means a lot to me. It really does. Again, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.